Oh, there he
What's
is.
up, man?
What's up, bro?
So I'm
I was
trying
about
to
to tell you, I was about to say, man, it says waiting for 50 Cent. I don't know if you was going to Teddy Riley yourself and not know how to work it.
He said, don't tell me you can't work the line now.
How you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. No complaints.
How's quarantine treating you?
It's been good, man. I'm so used to being able to use the gym to go in the gym stuff. Then now, because I had a full-on, like a whole fitness facility in Connecticut, I was like, yo, I don't need that here. Because it's stuff that I didn't need in my space because you know how you buy a weight bench or like a curl set just to have something around the house, like, and then you just walk past it all the time.
Yeah.
That's what was happening in Connecticut too, because it was in the house. Like I was like, it was right there. I wasn't doing it as much, and then when I put it in my schedule to go, I just was ready to go, and there was always something there. Like I think when you go to a good gym, there's usually girls there. It's like really there's hot girls around.
Yeah.
The gym's better. Really
The gym is better. I'm surprised that you actually go to the gym though, being that it seemed like you wouldn't be able to get a good workout in and people coming up to you bothering you.
Put the hood like out. Now I put the headphones on and doing something like busy. Every now and then you get the guy to stop like, yo, in the middle of the workout day, which you like, as long as the music is playing, you can go ahead and zone out.
Well, let's talk, bro. I mean, it seems like the world is kind of paused, but you still dropping product on us. You got the new book out.
Yeah, and then the BMF project got greenlit during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff. I've been working like a lot of these things are things I had in the plans. Like I had worked on them years before. Like the BMF, it's been 4 years that I show picked up. So it's finally greenlit and ready to go. And funny, strange enough, T got out today.
I saw that.
Yeah, got out today. So it's cool. And then Meet Your Apply for something. We're gonna find out, what the outcome of that is. But
so just on that right there, let me ask you: Does T coming out? Does T getting out? Does that change anything about the project itself? I mean,
it allowed me more access to him to communicate about it to different things. Because the only restraints there was the time, how much time we was able to use with Randy and them to communicate. Randy is the writer showrunner for it, Randy Hudgens, and for him to get on and communicate different things with them. Because when you're doing the series based on a true story, you do want the events to have some sort of connection to the experience, a different, whether it breaks timelines or not, all of it happened. Like when you're watching it, that's the difference. But a lot of times, look, the television production period, they want you to go find the best story, and now that you found the best shit out there, make some shit up. That's how crazy it is. Like, it's like, yo, you want to make something up after we found this? Like, because then it becomes out of sequence and it's a different energy to it. But they want you to make it up because other people are a part of every experience that means anything to us in life, and then they can claim something. So it'd be 1,000,001 lawsuits if you just did it exactly the way it happened.
Yeah. Now you're in the middle of that. I guess the question is, they're so famous in the culture. They're so famous, I guess, in hip hop legend, and street legend. What about their story you felt like made you want to tell it?
Well, it's not that much of a period piece initially, because their conviction was in 2005.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so relevant to the culture, and it means that much, because for a lot of the hip hop artists, like LL, I met LL Cool J in my neighborhood from Black Just, like from the drug dealers in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So L is from the hood, from farmers, from the Rock, from farmers, Queens. So it's like the real superheroes, man, growing up was the people who had financial freedom and the things that represented that to us, because we had the restraints of poverty in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So at that point in the early stages, there was more money in the neighborhood than in hip hop.
Word, of course.
Yeah, now it's shifted. It's grown to the point that you could sell 13, 14 million records on one disc. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, it changed, it grew. Because when I first had my experience with hip hop, there was only 1 hour. You had to I take my grandmother's cassettes because she used to go and tape the church when she was at the church. Take the tissue, put it in the little square at the back of it, and record over it. When Red Alert and them start playing the hip hop music, had all of the street music there. That if you didn't catch it on the radio during the time that they was playing it, you didn't get it, you know. So it was a different thing, and it was because of that exclusivity. I think it made it cooler because you had to be there, you had to have it. You don't know, you don't got it. Like it would be the live tape from the rooftop. Right. Like what the whole night they taped it and they got the tape or different things, and you're like, oh, too young to get in, but I'm not too young to hear it.
To hear the music, I feel you. Yeah. Right. So with the book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, it's kind of like a self-help book. It's kind of from what I hear, and a lot of people don't think of 50 Cent as the self-help guy. What made you want to get into? You're very competitive. Yeah. So what made you want to kind of give some of the keys to your mental kingdom to other people?
You know what? Look, I looked at it, man. Like when I first, because they kept approaching me about it for a few times, right? And I was like, nah, like because I thought that you write a self-help book, then you kind of view yourself as an expert on life. Like the guys that write these books that I don't know them from anywhere, I look at them like they think they're an expert. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So when I actually started talking to Mark Joe, my book agent and everything, and he was like, no, like you don't understand, like you put your nuances into it, like, and into everything that you're actually doing. And I'm like, then this could be cool to do it that way. And then my voice is a different audience that'll listen.
Okay.
You know, and like the person that probably wouldn't be reading in the self-help section, finding something to read, may go and pick up the book because of the, you know, that connection to our culture and to just who I am overall, like what they're seeing, you know, because I've constantly said that the coolest way to develop yourself as an artist is to offer more of yourself, right? And it's because people can beat you at a lot of things. They cannot beat you at being you.
Word up.
You know what I mean? And that would create the separation in itself without the you trying to force something different. You know,
why do you think that's a lesson that's so hard for people to learn? Like you've staged yourself for better and for worse. You've been 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Sometimes people, they see the comments and like, damn, 50 wild, and then sometimes we're laughing along. Why is it so hard, do you think, for other people, other rappers, to exist with that same authenticity and put it all out there?
Just not comprehending what I'm doing at that point. Like, man, I'll say some stuff and you'll be like, why did you say that? Oh, like you get ready to get trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
like, damn, Phil, come on, bro.
Like, and I'm only doing that so I can say what I want later. You see what I'm saying? Because if you go on at different points, there's things that they talk about being on agenda, or things that they start to say, oh, you can't say this. You can't say these words. You can't say this. You can't do. There's so many limitations that look, when I'm doing well, when they see successful moments in my career, they say, rap mogul, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Right.
When something goes wrong, they go rapper 50 Cent.
Right. Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah. So the way that I use it at different points is I'll do those things for shock value at points. And when they see my audience is not adjusting to it, like there's people publicly that have complete different views from me that will come across the things that I'm saying for shock value. And the reason why they don't pursue their attack is because they look and they see everyone under there just laughing.
Yeah.
Instead of agreeing with them when their gut feels like that. You see
so
what I'm saying?
Like, you weaponize the comment section a little bit. Like,
it's like when they expect these things from me at points, because I've done them, you know, over and over, it permits me to actually express myself when the other people, they don't use this. Like, what Puffy's brother Love on Instagram. That's not the guy that got everything that had Bad Boy the whole time, did all of that.
Hey, but people changed though. That was a long time ago, man. It's
No,
evolution.
man, he's still the
Come
same
on,
person,
man. Puff is evolved. He cares about different things now than he did then, man.
Yeah, look. I say this right. When I took notes from Puffy's career and things that he did, his temperament, right? And when you got like, it'll feel competitive at points because it's supposed to be competitive, but you can't even look at a person and be competitive if you don't have some level of respect for him, right? And a lot of times when I'm saying something disrespectful about Puff, it's happening when we have competitive products.
Yeah.
It's something there. It's a reason why we compete. No puffy juice. No more puffy juice. Fuck out of here with that shit. All of that. And then it's things that I know he can't do. Like compliance, he has to behave a certain way. So he can't, like, as far as the success of Ciroc and Diageo at that point, that his company's not willing to let what my company was willing to let happen to see success in a failing area.
Right.
Versus someone who's been successful for a long time and they're kind of uptight about having to pay him as much money as they're paying him. Because it's the pay scale. It's like you're up here in your pay scale. So they're like now really critical of what you do and they're saying.
Right.
You
Let
know,
me ask you a question. Just listening to you talk, the way that you break down these different mechanisms of competition, it seems like more than anything in your life, more than the art of the rap, more than the business mogul to make money, it seems like the thing that's driving you and has always driven you is just competition. Like, how much, when you're talking to people, how much do you feel like, because some people think you can overcompete, how much has competition made you who you are? And without that, do you feel like you would have anything else? Would you paint or make music just to make music if there was nobody to make music against?
Look, if there was, I would have done it because it was a way, man, it was a bigger, higher level. Yeah. In the environment that I grew up in, the superheroes, they sold drugs. I told you, even LL was Rope Chain, they had it.
Yeah.
When he got the advance off the record, he could get it and look like they already was having it in the neighborhood.
Right.
Hustling. So it was optional to go in those directions. I didn't have the same skill set. Like L, he feels older to us because he got on so early. He was like 15. He
was a kid.
Star.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like MJ, neck and neck in age, but they're not, but one feels older than the other because one's been on so much longer.
Yeah, I'm Bad was out when I was in the first grade.
Right. Yeah. So like L is like with Run DMC in my head a little bit. Right. Early. You know, and then it's interesting because when you get to, like, I don't care what you're doing in life, right? I think if there's, wherever you're doing it, there's someone that's in a position in another company, it should be some competitive energy, especially if you respect the guy. If you see the guy is good, then you should be competitive. And y'all may not be after the same things in life completely. It just may be what you're actually working on at the point. It's just, when you tie it, you'll find new energy when you tap into that competitive side of yourself. Because it's something else. Like, oh, when you can look and think they might be working, continuing to work, and you sitting there tired now, you'll find a way to focus and get back to it.
Right.
Versus those other points. Like there's whenever most what's the names have competing products. It's very rare that there's a category and it's just one. You know what I'm saying? And when you're doing that, whoever's at the top of the scale, I usually make the top person my competition.
Right.
You know, you don't pick guys that don't even matter. Like creatively, you got people that make moments. I don't have favorite artists. I have favorite moments from them. There's points that an artist does something that's so good that you know that, listen, we all could do it. None of us could do that better than he just did that. The way he made that record.
Yeah.
Nobody else, none of us could have did that better than him.
So you have seen that, you felt like that before. You've seen somebody do something and been like, I, 50 Cent, cannot do that.
Right, yeah. Busta Rhymes. Put your hands where my eyes can see it.
Word.
It was like, we have those moments. Like, there's a lot of records that are out, but a record that comes in the middle of all of that, that you go, you know it's really good when you're an artist, is because you wish you made it. Like the
so
song.
what? So answer that for me. Like, what's some songs that you wish you made?
Look, Buzzer, put your hands on your eyes to see. Black Broad Wool.
Oh, that's a hard record.
Even what's the name of the record I like? Lean Back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you wish Lean Back is a record you wish you made, because that would surprise a lot of people because of your past with Fat Joe.
Yeah, but what's special about the record, and it's my connection to Remy. I like Remy from the beginning. I just look at her, I can see that the shit is just there. It's the real shit. It's not the experience makes her like that. Tougher than you would have to be. Like it's the female side of her makes her harder than you see it harder than the dude sometimes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like because she's a female, she knows that you see a female when you're looking at her. So it's like I wish you would. Like it's more. It's even more present. You know what I mean? And I would look at her and like I wrote letters on her behalf when she was locked up. I was the whole time I was waiting for her to have a record when she got back. You know what I'm saying? And then when the record came, it was like, oh, there you go, you got it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a big part of that energy. I think that she was in the wings and things were organically gonna happen for her. Just being who she is, and then when the Lean Back record was the timing.
Yeah.
Just made it, it was cool.
It's a hard record.
Yeah, and then the what's the other one he did? He did yeah, the shit had French Montana on it. The other
Yeah.
That
I have a question. Just because of the level of hits that you've had, like, rappers have hits and you've had hits, big hits, and the guy who makes a lot of the big, huge hits in rap right now is Drake. Is there ever a Drake record that you've heard that you've been like, I wish that had been my record, or I wish I'd have had that lane?
No, I've heard a Drake record and was like, oh, now I like this is the he had the I don't know nobody else that's doing this. That joint, the beat that
Nonstop.
That bass line on the track is Dead
Tiki.
Presidents. The Dead Presidents record, Bigger Than Hip Hop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you listen to it, that's the last time a record sounded like that record, and it went. You see what I'm saying? So I was listening, because music, it repeats itself. Like it comes back. Like if you don't listen to hit music, old hit music, you're not gonna be able to pick the right record in the new production that's there, because it's gonna be something, an element, not only because we sampled the music, but there's something about that thing that it comes back around. Like we're going in a loop. So you gotta kind of watch what's going on, because now the production is shifted. It's a little different, but the same melodies, those records that had those things in there, you could put it into this new production and it'd be a hit with no problem.
You still care about rap?
Yeah, I still love it. It's like, but I don't necessarily have to. Hip hop is a youth sport, man. Right? You ain't gonna see no Morgan Freeman jumping out on stage in hip hop, right? There's a point where it's ill, because like my assessment of how things are supposed to go, I'll look and go, I don't think you're supposed to be the hottest at that point. I think if you can create, if you can inject things that are missing from the culture, that's cool enough. You see what I'm saying? Because the youth, that youthful energy, what they're attracted to are things that are damaged. All the things that I experienced coming up, take being shot 9 times, take all of that. When I come at that point, I've been saying the same things over and over. The first album effort was Power of the Dollar. Then after I get shot, it was Get Rich or Die Trying. And it was really showing earth, because everybody that was involved was still on the street. So you very well, it is very well possible that I die trying, and while I'm saying that. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
those stakes are high enough for you to have the largest debut in hip hop album, and for people to go, yo, like to be watching. Like when you saying it's all right, it's all real, about his dick, it's a big tall hills. All of this stuff is a part of like the Biggie, Foxy. When they came, they had to be cool enough to stand next to guys and have a relationship where they would fuck with them without them caring about it.
right.
So there's tones of hoe culture in the way they write the music. Because Biggie was writing player.
Right.
So what would be the right girl? What would be next to it?
Right. It was.
And
You
then,
feel like it was a natural dichotomy that was there.
yeah. So it was like if you're writing player shit and what you would naturally come out with, and not compromise yourself in any way, what female would be around it that doesn't have an issue and clicks in and will be there at that point is because her compass says, but you got to buy me gifts, of course.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that made that make so much sense that it fit him when if you said look, he was married. He was married to Faith Evans, saying some player shit, heavy set dude, eyes crossed, with glasses over the shit.
Rest in peace.
There was a lot of shit going on.
Rest in peace to B.I., man. Like,
no, but there was a lot of shit going on here that would not be ideally cool, which indicates the skill set.
Right.
Because if you say, I've said there's 4 qualities to make a star, right? Quality, material, performance, appearance, and personality.
Sure.
Right? Now, if you lack in one of those areas, you got to pick up the slack in another. Right? So if you know, like Drake shit is dope to me. I like his shit. I like the music he do. I wish my cousin was like Drake. My cousin, I can't, I don't even talk to him. I don't fuck with him because when I started with the music and I was moving around, he wanted to come with us because he's seen those younger dudes that was like in his actual age, like they had shared classes at some point. But these dudes is in the street, like this one already got bodies, like, you know, like it's gone. He on the whole other side now, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, and he's seeing him and saying, well, I can't go. I'm like, no, you can't go, because how I'm gonna explain to your mother, she's the one to babysit, you know, my favorite aunt, right? How I'm explaining to her that you got hurt.
Right.
I can accept if I get hurt. But I can't accept if you get hurt and she looks at me like it's my fault.
Right.
I just don't want that to ever happen. You see what I'm saying? And then it was a scenario like that. Vaughn, you said over and over, you see these guys talking about they was holding me down. They was not built for that beef, that kind of beef. Who were any of them in the environment?
Who are you talking about now?
Like in the beginning, like the guys like from that beginning stages. Because my cousin, look, he wrote, he sounds like me. He talk when he talk, his voice. You would go, yo, Fifth, what you doing? He answered the phone, they always think it's me. Go on like that, yo, start talking to him. Nah, I'm gonna call him right now. Stand taller than me. So he ain't been in the street at all. You see what I'm saying? So he was writing some treacherous shit. He was writing some cold-blooded shit, like harder than the 50 Cent shit. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm using the factual basis around mine. He's just writing the craziest thing that can come.
The illest shit he can think about.
So, yeah, and I'm going, nah, I'm not taking him with me. Then when you get hurt, then what? Deficits of the time. The things that you're saying will bring that energy to you.
Right.
You know, and then when you catch gun charges and things like that happen, you start to finding out about himself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then when everybody else got priors and you're the only one there and you ain't got no priors, you know who to expect to take it.
You.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, it's ill. Like, you know, so this is why me and Son don't buy like that. But a lot of the guys that were around back then, they got this thing in their head how they held me down. And I'm like, what did you do? Did you hit something? Because then I understand why I owe you.
Right.
What did you do? Did you do something that I don't know you did? I owe you something? No, but they saying because they was there. Like you owe them for moral support.
Does that matter though? I mean, because think about it. If somebody's down with you from the beginning, and you're in a tough situation, and you got somebody to sound off on and to talk to, and they're around and they're the homies. When you come up, you're not supposed to bring them with you.
Look at this. This is why I had the Connecticut match. Check this rocket science out. Check this shit out, right? You can have 18 bedrooms, 37 bathrooms, 6 kitchens. You're only gonna sleep on 1 bed. I figured that out. Wow, that was for everybody to come. You see what I'm saying? To have everybody around still, but there's gonna be a point where the party's over.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a different thing when you get to a different point of your life and things that you lifestyle. When you have, like, look, my fan base. Let's look at college. Like, the person's in college at the point that you're hitting in music. Look at them like they're your core fan base, because they have an adult experience for the first time. They're out and enjoying themselves and mixing in to meet people. It's that prime point in their life. So it never, like, anybody will sit and reflect on college because it was different. Yeah. The whole vibe. Later, there's let's say this, those people are now successful. If they were in college in 2003 when I'm hitting, they go through the run and experience with me, and you can't have fun without me. And every party setting, everywhere they went, I was there, trust me.
Right.
A part of that experience with them completely. And now those people are successful in their career. If they were in business, they're already at the top of the corporation. Like, you know, you came out in 03. Like, if they're gonna be successful, they already are.
Let me ask you something real quick about the youth of hip hop, and then I want to move on to a couple of things that people are talking about today. I think actually hip hop is getting a little older, because you see guys like Jay, Nas, M. They're getting up there. Jay is 50. I guess M's getting up there pretty close. They're still rapping. What do you think about that? Like, there's a lot of older MCs. We never had this many MCs that were relevant this later on in life,
right,
as we do now.
Look,
so you still think it's strictly a youth thing, or you think that dynamic's changing a little?
No, I think we have superstars. We have the guys that can actually stick around and diversifying, being able to be in hip hop culture to survive it. It is not just about music. You have to navigate what's going on. You know what I'm saying? There's points where the audience, look, you're supposed to, when I said they're attracted to things that are damaged, they want to see it go up and they want to see it come down. If you go up and you have the ability to sustain being up, the people that are watching go, God damn, if you don't come down, then how am I supposed to have my chance? So what's created this energy, this cloud of negative energy that comes, that's coming from the artist community itself. So it's after Future drops the tape with the March Madness and all of that tape was smack, like all the way through was good.
Incredible.
Yeah. The next tape that comes out, what the artists in Atlanta do is, yo, you heard the new joint? You heard the new joint? And they're like, yeah, it's good, but, you know, it's not like the first one. They put you up against you. They've done it to all of us. They did it,
absolutely.
Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, Ready to Die. Every first album is the album that they make reference to. They don't look for the whole portfolio and say, yo, you be like, what? I got 30 number ones.
Right.
30 number one records. And you saying, okay, one album? Okay, I'll take that.
What was that like dealing with that, though? So you come out with Get Rich or Die Trying, and I remember, because I was one of those people that was in college when that dropped, and it was everywhere. It was crazy. Like, every single record on there was just bananas. Everybody going crazy. This new guy 50 Cent, this new guy 50 Cent, this new guy 50 Cent. We've been hearing about it. I'm from Baton Rouge, so, you know, we weren't as much on the mixtapes as everybody else was. So when you dropped, it was Wankster and then straight into Get Rich or Die Trying, and everybody was going insane. Did you ever feel pressure to live up to that? And do you feel like you have lived up to Get Rich or Die Trying?
You know what happens? I don't think you can have a second chance at a first impression. And what happened, the reason why that record was the way it was I had been bounced around. I didn't get in when I felt I was ready. The music sounded like it was ready, and things were happening to block that. Like my song when I got shot, my next single was Thug Love. It was me and Beyonce. I was on Columbia Records at that point.
Yeah.
I got dropped. Columbia, they didn't answer the phone anymore. By the time I came back and got myself situated, I had the trick, like when you hear artists say my mixtape is coming out, they don't even know I influenced that. When a mixtape never was a single artist's concept or idea. Mixtape was, you was going to doo-wop, you was going to K-Slay, you was going to the Clue, you was going to whatever mixtape DJ that had the tape and showcasing your lyrical ability on the tape with them. But it was never a full piece. When after I got shot, I came back and put what we was calling freestyles in song format.
Right.
I just was conditioned to write it in the song. And if you listen to all of the early G-Unit music, you hear my voice on the chorus because I was conditioned to do the material. Was like, yo, so Mr. J would go, where's the hook? Like I wrote a rap and it had like a run-on chorus. Like Prodigy used to make them choruses that felt like you couldn't decipher whether when rap came in or from his hook. And I'm like, Jay was like, where the hook? And I was like, that's the hook right there. And he was like, that's not the hook. Like it's not 4 bars. It don't repeat 4 bars. Right. Or it gotta be 8 bars or a 4-bar chorus that repeats different things. Like, and this is what attracts me to Young M.A. Her hit records don't even have a fucking hook. Like if the whole thing is just, and it just feels good enough for you to just go, okay, I don't care. She didn't do the
right.
Technically, that goes against the way I was trained to write music.
Right.
Like, cause Jay was like, nah, this you have to tick, 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 tick. He would make the machine, the ticker that you would hear when you're producing it.
Metronome, yeah.
I would listen to that while the record is playing. And right before when it stopped, I knew that's where it stops and it repeats.
Right. I want to ask you a money question real quick. And a lot of rappers right now that are out they're not gonna be able to tour. They're not gonna. The show money is stopping. Like, what percentage right now? Think about it for a second. What percentage of it right now of rappers do you think are financially a good enough place to survive this quarantine? Like, a lot of the show money that dried up, a lot of the other stuff that dried up, and a lot of guys that have been showing a lot of wealth for a little while might be a little stretched. What percentage you think can weather this?
Look, I think when the quarantine hits, everything stops, right? So to think that they don't have, look, if they really didn't have money to survive 2 months, then they was already broke. It was already hit. You see what I'm saying? Like they have it. They have these things. They just don't have it. And
Steve Stout's in the chat. Steve Stout said it's maybe 10 rappers.
Maybe what?
Steve Stout just said. Steve Stout's in the chat. He said maybe 10 rappers are gonna be able to survive. He says it's maybe 10 guys.
Then he think, well, look, they're not business people, but look, Stout is one of the smarter guys in the music business, right? He does some things, but I would say this. They really are wearing the presentation. That's the money. They're spending it on the jewelry, the things on it. That's why you see them so excessive. They got nice stuff around. So when they're not moving, it is stopping a lot of action. It may not put big bags of cash in front of them, but they have to have money that's going directly to their business managers or accountants that I would believe would last longer than 2 months. So it is hurting them because the money in music at the present moment is in the show. It's in touring. So you're looking, you go, but I just don't believe they broke in 2 months. You know what I'm saying?
You think most rappers are going to be able to survive quarantine?
Yeah, they'll be able to get through that. And even if,
but remember now, not just the quarantine, but it's going to be a long time before the shows come back.
Right. No, it's going to. You're saying the whole quarantine. I was only thinking about the 2 months that we.
I'm talking about this period where there's not going to be any live shows to maybe like middle.
Nah, they're going to need the money, and the ones that have the momentum that you see, the record companies are going to have to deliver that money.
So you think the record company is gonna have to bail out some of these rappers?
Yeah. If they don't, they're not. They'll be signed to me by the time we done with this. They better give them the money. Let me tell you why. Because if it takes another year or so, the momentum that they built now is gonna carry over to next year. As soon as it stops, it's not gonna be the guy who has a record then that is gonna be on fire. But whoever they was listening to over this time period, they already established themselves. They're gonna go right back into business. It's not like their portfolio will just go away.
Right.
You know, so they gotta look out for them over this time. And they do got expensive stuff. You know, it's like nice these houses and cars and stuff. If they're not buying the cars flat out, like when you see me buying the cars, it means it's tax time.
Right.
And if I don't spend the money, they're just gonna take it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, you know what? Give me the car, fuck it. And I'm doing shit because I have to spend the money or they're just gonna take it. That's it. And it's because I had a whole bunch of bills connected to having that place that everybody, you know what I mean, that I don't have anymore. So
let me ask you this. Speaking of rappers that are trying to make it, there's a rapper that just came home not too long ago, a guy that, you know, you used to know, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you your opinion on this.
Uh-huh.
I can't get a consensus from people about whether or not 6ix9ine is going to be able to be successful as a rapper after everything that he did.
I think he will be.
You think he will be successful? You think that enough people, you think Tekashi 6ix9ine will be successful?
Yeah, I do. And the reason being is the guys that actually, look, lifestyle, the way they grew up, right? One second.
I didn't expect him to say that. I gotta be honest with you. Like I had that question.
Gotta make sure the power don't go.
Oh, powerful.
So look, the guys that have that are in the cities that come from the environments where they adjust to kind of the street codes, the street lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So these guys, they're looking at it like, nah, he snitched on everybody. Can't do it that. No, I ain't fucking. Right now, the actual consumers of hip hop music are in middle America. They need somebody to drive them to the mall on the weekend to find something. They can't even get in trouble unless you fucking with a deer in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these are the people that our culture, hip hop, allows them to go on safari. They allow them to understand the slang, get next to the animals, and not be in danger, not hurt. Like to understand everything that's going on. Or we're gonna slide on them. So all of this different shit that you hear in the music 24/7. That's representation of a whole almost a foreign energy to them. You know, and those people would look at it and say, you wanted me to do 40 years for guys that slept with my girlfriend and took my money and was going to hurt my mother? At that point, tell any kid that hasn't been exposed to the street that you're going to hurt his mother, mess with his girlfriend, and take his money. And he's going to say, fuck those people. I don't care. Yeah, whoever. And even when the tough, like what's the name, try to respond, my oldest says something when Tekashi says something.
Oh, your son?
Yeah, he's not even supposed to be in those conversations because it's not like the reason people might not whoop on him is they think I'll do something if something happens to him. But he shouldn't even be talking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is there any chance at a reconciliation between you and your son? Because a lot of people from the outside, the boy looked just like you.
That's
a lot of people from the outside think that situation is sad, man, that y'all can't come
to
something.
It is sad. It's a sad situation, right? And when you pray for success, you don't necessarily pray for the things that come with it, right? And there's no such thing as success without jealousy, without envy or entitlement. Entitlement is growing in someone you love, and the scariest part, right? And his mom developed an entitlement that cannot be met. Filtering that energy through his actual personal interests. Let's say now that he's starting to like females, he's conscious of what kind of shoes he want to wear. I need these Jordans, the retro Jordans is coming, different things. And then his mother go, all right, I'll get them for you, but it just bothers me because you're supposed to have them all. So while being a privileged child, he feels deprived. When you had everything I didn't have. I can tell you how much my kids cost. In New York State, 1.360. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have an issue with paying the support fund. The reason why I'm the way I am with those kind of situations, I pay my support that year that the baby's born. Move the money to the account, let it, and it automatically disperses a certain amount of money per each month. So with him, I noticed over the years like it developed, because I blamed it on his mom for a long time. But it's not his mother, it's him. Like I've gone places where he was at, he left.
Fifth, you love your son?
I used to. You ask yourself how long, a complicated question would say, how long can you love something that don't love you back? You see, so in this experience, you look and you say, I didn't think success would cost me my firstborn, but it's the situation. It's like my grandfather would say, it rattled like a snake. If it slithered like a snake, is it a snake or do you need to be bit? Right? And that's the Aiken, South Carolina, and this the country, she'll say. And what he keeps saying is every time you see the boy, he show up with somebody you got a problem with. What does that day? People will always try to make relationships on a common bond of disliking someone. Like, be friends with you because your enemy is my enemy.
Yeah.
And he sees himself that way. To the extent where he's actually taking pictures with Preem's son or doing different things that, and you go, well, I'm like, I don't even understand where your motivation comes from with these things, but.
Can you excuse any of that because of how young he is?
No, he's 23 years old, 24 years old. It's not a baby no more, it's a grown man. See, I look at you as you've grown, your decisions that you make as you start to pass what they would have did to us. They would have charged me like an adult at 15. So at 23, it's like you grown in my head. My homeboys, they had their babies at 15. At that point in the neighborhood, that was when you actually got into, we started the sexual thing. You know what I'm saying? It started to really get into, and everybody 15, 16 years old was the point that he was having kids. So like I was super late with him because I didn't want to have, something that I didn't actually connect with because we both was babies, at that point. And then later, I mean, all these things don't turn out the way you want. Life just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And
what would have to happen for you guys to have a relationship again? That's the last question I'll ask about it.
I don't know. I ran into him one time. This is ill, right? Right after, it was 2 months before his support was finished, right? And at the time, he's standing at the desk talking to the jeweler, and he had a small diamond chain, 2 small diamond chains, trying to get a bigger diamond chain, right? Trading them, see how much you get that one. And I walked in, he goes, "Oh, you have somebody like watching me?" I said, "Nah." He said, "Oh, so coincidence?" He said, yeah, coincidence. Then he turned back to the jeweler, he goes back to talking to the jeweler, and he's like, nah, I can't do that. Now I'm like, because of how much the jeweler's asking him for. So he can't do it. But he doesn't realize that he's at the booth negotiating, putting 2 small diamond chains back to get a bigger diamond chain with the money I'm mailing him. His mother never had a job. She didn't do nothing. I would have questioned whether I was wrong if she did something after the fact. She genuinely did not want to do nothing. This girl looked me in my face and told me, like, she was like, "You bought Mike Tyson's house?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "So why you ain't tell me this?" I said, "Because you ain't moving there." I would have had to leave them in Mike Tyson's house. like Mike left his old lady in him there when I got it. You see what I'm saying? So, because they would have said he's accustomed to this lifestyle and this is what he would have, it would have changed the whole scenario. So when I said, nah, you got to go, you're going to get a place over here. I gave her the same money that I gave my grandmother to buy my grandmother's house, for her to pick out a house and buy her house. And you go there until you figure out what you want to do. You don't want to do nothing. You're not coming with me stand like that. She was like, you did it already. Don't nobody work them down have to work. You already did it. Feeling like the records you already sold. If I was thinking like that, that's who I was. Yeah, they've been over.
Damn.
Because if you think about it, a lot of people, like when in the book I say, when you hustle, right? When you're a hustler, you adapt a mentality, you live by those ways, right? If you experience a setback, it's okay. It's always, you know, the setback is for the get back. It's for, you know, for you to feel that low, the way you feel when something goes bad. Damn, it's for how it feels when it's going right, right? So you can actually feel that, experience that joy at that point, and then you could be getting money. The police sweep, but you got 3 people busted at one time. You got to bail all of them out. I pay lawyer fees for all of them. You got to have all of your money that you had in the bank that you felt was just yours and profits is now taken out of your profits and placed into the necessity of keeping you functioning, right? And you bounce back from that. Like everybody get back, you get back. From there, like you look, what you say?
The next meeting.
Oh man, we didn't even talk about the book. So look, you said when he said, look, check it out, man. This is why it was cool to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do this with just anybody. Like Ari, I did with Ari Melbo, and I do it with you, but I'm not going to just get on the thing with, I don't care who the public is.
I'll feel you.
You know what I mean?
You want to go into the book right now,
yeah.
Or you want to, like, we got about 10 minutes left. You want to talk about the book?
Yeah, like what I was talking about in the book, I mentioned when you have setbacks, those things. When you're a hustler, you know it's going to be peaks and valleys and what's going on. Like even in your music career, it's going to be high notes, low notes, or you didn't have a long music career. If it's one way, if it's just up, then guess what? You had a hit and it's over.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you have a long enough one, you're going to feel different things, regardless to how, you know, because you'll go, boom, you got the hit, #1 record. That energy for the first time is amazing. It's almost magic for everyone to agree on something at once.
You're right.
And then the next thing that you do may not have that same reaction. You know, who could blame you? Even if it's good. If it's good, it continues. You continue success, but it's not as good as that first idea. You know what I'm saying? And that'll always happen, no matter who you are. Like I think, you know, you gotta, like, once you say you adapt the concept of hustling, that you're a hustler, that you take those things in stride when you do it. You know what I'm saying? You're coming from not having anything from the beginning, me. So I look at all of it like it's just me doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll go, it's not one way to do it. If you think I'm a one-trick pony, you fucked up, bro. You wrong.
Right. You got to be versatile.
Yeah.
In terms of that. Yeah.
And
I want to ask you one question. So the book, by the way, just people are asking, the book is Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. 50's got a brand new book out right now. We're talking about that and a bunch of other things. You talked about your competitiveness earlier. Obviously, when you're hustling, you're normally hustling against other hustlers. I want to ask you something. Is there anybody that you could never see yourself going at? Yeah. I mean, is there anyone that, like, no matter what kind of competition happens, no matter what's said, this person has too much of your respect, you would never go with them?
Well, M is that.
M is that, Eminem.
Yeah, and it's because there's no 50 Cent without Eminem.
What about Dre?
Dre the same, he supported me. The difference with M is it was his idea. When you sell 22 million records, everybody wants to do what you want to do. You sell 22 million records on one CD, the Marshall Mathers LP.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so much. Like, and look at this. Look, Stout would point, if he's still on there, he said the tanning of America, right? Because it's black culture and it's how
Right.
it's blossomed. But it's also, you gotta look at it from M's perspective, it's losing the color. It's allowing, I swear to God, everybody I would ask, like when you're running, I'm out, I'm like, yo, you like hip hop? Just saying shit, who you like? And they're like, yo, M. Just for white kids, they would look at it and they would see themselves in Eminem's style and performance. And that's how they fell in love with the culture, but they brought everything else that they listened to.
Yeah.
Based on liking that. So
Right.
it's the culture would not have grown. Stout's right, it's the tanning of America, but it's also, to M's credit, a guy that comes in at a time that the things before him weren't as credible as he was, and didn't culturally grow the way he just grew in the culture. If you look at Proof, you look at everybody who was around him in the early stages, it shows you that it was just that.
Where do you put M all time?
Huh? You said, where do I put him?
Yeah.
I just look at the facts. He's the #1 selling rap artist in the world. Been that since. It's not gonna change. It's still there. It's like, because he didn't take a breather. Like when you didn't see him, he was still working.
So you would say Eminem is the #1 rapper of all time?
I think that when we look at those numbers at the end of everything that's going on, when you start to forget each person's preference and we look at how it actually performed, yes. Because at the end of the day, look, when my momentum for somebody that comes from where I come from, they can't ever question my run. They try to act like it didn't happen because they didn't mean much while it was happening. Right? In that time period. But to them, they look and they go, they haven't seen anybody that took to that magnitude because they haven't seen the circumstances. Like I didn't have beef with guys who like rappers. There's a point where when you was in hip hop, you had to bring your neighborhood. When you heard Jay-Z, you thought Marcy. What else for you to think of? But the actual neighborhood and those crews came from it, right? So you couldn't really come without a supporting cast. And I don't know anybody that was popping in that early time frame that didn't have, even Nori, Murder Unit. It was nuts. Like that squad was moving. They was still doing some things, you know what I'm saying? But everybody had a crew of dudes who was really gonna do what they had to do. And then what I'm saying to you is when it shifts and it changes and it becomes a little more about the creativity. I've seen the new things that I see in front of me, they have old references to why it works. Like when Kendrick and them, this is that conscious Talib Kweli, the Common Sense, these different artists that were conscious artists saying smart things like sit down, be humble in the middle of the party. Like, you know what I'm saying? The other, man, all of them is like, I can point artists, each one of those artists, there was a place where they fit in. Like Drake's, because he's like a hybrid, like the R&B rapper. His career is kind of mirrors LL a little bit to me. And it's
as far as the content and stuff.
Yeah, like he'll do, LL would do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then do I Need Love.
Right.
Do I Shot You, then do I Can Love You Better.
Right.
So he'll give you the street record that keeps the hood and the street cool with him, and then give the record that can perform on pop radio to take him to where you want to go financially.
Right.
And Drake, the format, I've seen him do that. That is the format to use when you have, it'll last longer having a female core, like bass at your core.
Right.
It'll last longer than if it's the hood thing, because they'll look, unless you have issues going on consistently that makes you got other problems to worry about because you're sitting in jail.
Right.
Like,
so Fifth, we got about 2 minutes left. 2 things I want to tell you. Number one, people keep hitting me, hitting in the comments and saying that you don't have your lights on. It's getting dark. It's hard for them to see.
oh, what's the name?
Hold on, we almost away.
There we go. We got lights.
Wait. Yeah, so it's a little better. But we got about 2 minutes left. We probably get kicked off the live in about 2 or 3 minutes. Just before you go, just real quick, tell people where they can get the book. Give them a quick message about the book before live. Get us up out of here.
Hustle Hard, Hustle Smart is available where all books are sold. The audio book, I taped it myself. I went in because I was doing ADRing for the TV shows and stuff like that. I said I'd do it myself this time, and I did it. I think they get at it, they can appreciate it, and maybe they leave with something from the experience that they couldn't get from the other books, man. It's just written differently. It's from me, my voice.
Yeah. All right, bro. Appreciate the time, man. A legend. We could talk for another hour about so much. You got so much knowledge in your head, bro. Hopefully, me and you will be working together in the future on some things. You never know, right?
Definitely. They got this thing called TV. We go get on there. We're gonna definitely do that.
All right, my man. Peace,
all right.
Man. Always good to see you.